Let's take a look at the rules for Tor Garadon, the very cool new Imperial Fists character that Games Workshop have just treated us to a picture of. Hello and welcome back to Auspex Tactics, the Imperial Tactics channel, where we break down rules and tactics for your Imperial armies in Warhammer 40k. Today we'll be looking at the rules for Tor Garadon, who is the new Imperial Fists captain who's going to be coming out with the new book. Now, we don't know the full fluff behind this guy at the moment, but he's supposedly the captain of the Imperial Fists' third company. I'm sure we'll find out more as the weeks go on. Fortunately, however, it appears that his full rules have been already leaked via the power of the internet, so we can go over the tactics and how he might fit into an Imperial Fists army on the battlefield. So we'll start out with his stats. He's a single special character model that costs 140 points. He's equipped with a very cool looking shoulder mounted grab gun and a massive power fist named the Hand of Defiance. He is equipped with Gravis armor as well, and he has a very similar stat line to the standard Primaris Gravis Captain model in the regular Space Marine Codex. He has a movement of 5, weapon skill and ballistic skill of 2 up, strength 4, toughness 5, 7 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 3 up. Like all captains, he also has an Iron Halo 4 up invulnerable save. As a Space Marine, he gets the Angels of Death special rule, so that's an extra attack when he charges, was charged, or makes a heroic intervention. He gets Bolter Discipline, that won't apply to him, and he'll also get the Tactical Doctrines, so bonus AP to his Grav Gun if he happens to be in the Tactical Doctrine. Now, we don't know what the Imperial Fists Doctrine is yet, but I suspect that it will be a Devastator Doctrine buff, so I suspect he won't be needing to use that. As an aside, I'm really looking forward to finding out what the Imperial Fists Doctrine will do for them, as it's rumoured to be very strong. I strongly suspect it's going to involve buffing the damage characteristics of bolters or heavy weapons, but that remains to be seen. His Grav Gun has the standard profile for that, unchanged from the Space Marine Codex. It's an 18-inch rapid fire 1, strength 5, AP -3 and damage 1, and like all grav weapons, it gets D3 damage when you shoot it at something that has a save of 3 up or better. But really what we're interested in is that Hand of Defiance, the enormous power fist that looks like it's just ready to punch some Xenos in the face. That gives him an incredible strength of ×3, so strength 12, AP -3 and damage of 3. And when resolving an attack made with this weapon, you've got to subtract 1 from the hit roll, just like regular Thunder Hammers and Power Fists. Now he also has another couple of special rules. He has Rights of Battle as a regular Space Marine Captain. Within 6 inches you get a bubble of reroll 1s. And he has a Signum Array, which we have already seen on Ironfather Fyros from the Iron Hands. It has the same rule as this. If a unit has a model within 3 inches of this guy, then you can choose to give it a ballistic skill of 2 up for the shooting phase, which is a really nice buff, particularly on big units such as Devastator Centurions or Repulsor Executioners, or anything big and scary with a ballistic skill of 3 up. And he gets one further special rule, which is Siege Captain. So whenever this guy attacks a vehicle or a building in either close combat or in shooting, he'll add 1 to the damage characteristic of his weapons. So if this guy happens to charge, say, a knight in close combat, his Hand of Defiance will be damage characteristic of 4, as well as being strength 12, so he will hit very hard. And also his Grav Gun will have a damage characteristic of D3 + 1, which isn't too bad. It's fun anyway. So, is this guy worth it at 140 points? I would say he's definitely worth it as a central buffing character for an Imperial Fist gun line, and when the enemy gets too close, he can jump forward and hit something to death with that fist of his. Like I said previously, that Signum Array means that ideally he'll want to be sat next to something that's quite big and worth giving a ballistic skill of 2 up to. For example, advancing up the board with a Repulsor Executioner behind him, dishing out the damage. He's certainly very solid as a counter-attack unit. If a knight happens to get too close to your gun line and this guy decides he wants to go and charge it, then on average that Hand of Defiance with 6 attacks as he charged, will get you a massive 10 wounds on average against that knight. The strength 12 really comes into effect here, as does the +1 damage against vehicles. And then whether he lives or dies, you can pay CP to make him fight again, either through Honour the Chapter for 3 CP if he lives, and if the knight squashes him with its feet, then he can pay the 2 CP to fight again in death. And that will net you an average of 20 wounds on a knight just from 140 point character and a few CP. So absolutely brutal close combat stats, and if your opponent puts any vehicles anywhere near him, then they're in for a nasty surprise. I'd rate this guy as very competitive, even though we don't know entirely what the rest of the Imperial Fists book will give us, but is only going to get more options with the stratagems and any possible synergies with relics and other warlord traits. He will also have his own fixed warlord traits that we don't know yet, and that might well be worth taking. I look forward to finding out. So now we've had all that excitement, I'm off to have a look at the new Salamander's character. I'm going to be quite interested to see who is more hitty in close combat, as he has a massive thunder hammer. If you've got any ideas for how you're going to include this guy in your army, please give me a comment down below. It'll be interesting to hear your take. Thank you for listening to Auspex Tactics, and I'll see you in the next video.